That crushing feeling when someone looks right through you, their eyes sliding past as if you don't even exist? We've all experienced that moment of humiliation. Standing in a store while employees rush to help someone better dressed, being overlooked at a restaurant as servers fawn over other tables, or watching conversations stop when you approach. Today's story will take you on an emotional journey that will make your heart race with indignation, then soar with vindication. A simple woman was ignored at a boutique until her billionaire friend bought the whole store. Isn't just about revenge. It's about dignity, friendship, and the true meaning of worth in a world obsessed with appearances. What would you do if you witnessed someone being treated as less than because of how they look? Would you speak up? Would you walk away? Or would you do something so bold it would change lives forever? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and prepare yourself for a story that might just change how you see the world, and how you allow the world to see you. Now, let me take you to Rodeo Drive, where the sun shines golden on those deemed worthy enough to matter. Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to Love Crib, your ultimate destination for all things romances, connection, and heartfelt stories. I'm thrilled to have you here, sharing this amazing journey of exploring love in all its beautiful, complex, and magical forms. Whether you're a hopeless romantic, someone searching for relationship insights, or just love diving into heartwarming content, you're exactly where you need to be. If you're enjoying what you see, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could. Hit that subscribe button to stay connected with our Love Crib community. Drop a like to show some love, support, and motivation. Share this video with someone who might need a little romance in their life. Your support means the world to me and helps us continue creating content that celebrates love, connection, and the beautiful stories that bring us together. The golden afternoon sunlight streamed to the pristine windows of Elysium, the most exclusive boutique on Rodeo Drive. The light caught the facets of crystal displays, sending rainbow prisms dancing across marble floors, so polished they reflected the chandeliers hanging overhead. It was a kind of store where price tags were discreetly hidden, where salespeople could size up a customer's worth with a single practiced glance. Olivia Chin took a deep breath before pushing open the heavy glass door. At 34, she was simply dressed in well-worn jeans, comfortable flats, and a plain blue cardigan. Practical clothes for a kindergarten teacher who spent her days surrounded by finger paints and building blocks. Her straight black hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, her face free of makeup save for a touch of lip balm. Nothing about her screamed wealth or importance. The soft chime announced her entrance, causing three impeccably dressed saleswomen to look up from their positions around the store. Their gazes swept over Olivia in a practice assessment that took less than 2 seconds. All three immediately returned to what they were doing, straightening already perfect displays, tapping on tablets, or attending to the single other customer, a woman dripping in designer labels and diamond jewelry. Olivia felt a familiar tightness in her chest, the sensation of being dismissed, of being deemed unworthy. She'd come to buy a special gift for her oldest friend Elena, whose birthday was next week. Despite her modest salary, she'd saved for months to afford something from this particular boutique, knowing Elena had once mentioned admiring their unique designs. "Excuse me," Olivia said softly, approaching the nearest saleswoman, a tall blonde with severe bun and sharply tailored suit. "I was hoping to look at some of your scarves." The woman glanced up, her professionally painted smile never reaching her eyes. "The scarves start at $800, she said, her tone making it clear she didn't believe Olivia could afford even that. "Yes, I'm aware," Olivia replied, maintaining her gentle smile. "I'd still like to see them, please." With a barely concealed sigh, the woman gestured vaguely toward a display in the corner. "They're over there. Please be careful handling them." As Olivia made her way to the scarves, she caught a glimpse of herself in one of the many mirrors. For a moment, she saw herself as they saw her, unremarkable, ordinary, out of place. But then she remembered Elena's word from 20 years ago, spoken in their shared college dorm room. The people who judge you by your cover miss the best stories. Have you ever been judged based on your appearance? Share your experience in the comments below. Sometimes the richest stories come from the most unexpected places, just like what happened next in this boutique. 15 years before this afternoon at Elysium, Olivia had been a scholarship student at Berkeley, working 2 part-time jobs to make ends meet. Her new roommate, Elena Vasquez, had arrived with little more than Olivia: a battered suitcase, a laptop held together with duct tape, and a determination that burned like fire. They bonded over late-night study sessions and dollar store ramen. Elena, brilliant and driven, was studying computer science, already coding programs that her professors called revolutionary. Olivia was pursuing education, spending her free time volunteering at local elementary schools, coming back with stories that made Elena laugh until she cried. When Elena caught pneumonia during finals week of sophomore year, it was Olivia who skipped classes to care for her, who made endless trips to the campus clinic for medications, who typed Elena's final coding project as Elena dictated from her sickbed. When Elena's grandmother died the following year, and she couldn't afford a flight home to Mexico for the funeral, it was Olivia who organized a fundraiser among their friends, who sat with Elena all night as she grieved. They drifted somewhat after graduation, Elena to Silicon Valley startups, Olivia to her teaching credential, and eventually a position at Westwood Elementary. They still met for coffee when they could, exchanged birthday gifts, liked each other's social media posts. But busy lives meant they didn't see each other as often as they once had. What Olivia didn't know, what she couldn't have known as she stood examining the delicate silk scarves in the corner of Elysium, was that Elena's third startup had been acquired last year for a figure that had made financial headlines. The coding prodigy from the dorm room had become a tech titan, though she rarely gave interviews and was notoriously private about her personal life. "Can I help you find something?" asked a different saleswoman, this one with auburn hair and a slightly warmer demeanor, though her eyes still held that calculating assessment. "I'm looking for a gift for a friend," Olivia explained. "Her birthday is coming up, and I wanted something special." "I see," the woman replied, her tone softening slightly at the mention of a gift. "Any particular color your friend prefers?" Olivia smiled, thinking of Elena's dorm room walls plastered with posters of galaxies and nebulae. She loves deep blues and purples. Anything that looks like the night sky. The saleswoman, her nameplate read Veronica, nodded and pulled out a drawer from beneath the display. She removed a scarf in midnight blue silk, scattered with tiny crystals that caught the light like stars. "This is one of our newest pieces," Veronica explained, her tone becoming more professional as she entered sales mode. $1,200, hand-embroidered with Swarovski crystals. Olivia ran her fingers gently over the fabric. Picturing Elena's face when she opened it, it was perfect, and just at the upper limit of what she'd saved. "I'll take it," she said decisively. Veronica's eyebrows rose slightly in surprise. "Would you like it gift-wrapped?" "Yes, please." As Veronica began to fold the scarf, the boutique's door chimed again. A woman entered, dressed in simple black pants and a gray cashmere sweater. Her dark hair was cut in a sleek bob, and she wore minimal jewelry, just small diamond studs and a simple watch. Like Olivia, she wasn't dressed to impress, though her clothes were clearly of high quality. What happened next confirmed everything Olivia had experienced. All 3 salespeople immediately abandoned what they were doing, including Veronica, who set down Olivia's scarf mid-fold, and converged on the newcomer. "Ms. Lockhart, how wonderful to see you again," gushed the blonde who had dismissed Olivia earlier. "We just received those leather goods you inquired about last month." The woman, Ms. Lockhart, smiled politely but shook her head. "Just browsing today, thank you." Her British accent was crisp and elegant. The saleswomen hovered nonetheless, leaving Olivia standing forgotten by the scarf display. After several awkward minutes of waiting, Olivia cleared her throat. "Excuse me," she called softly. "I was in the middle of a purchase." The manager, a thin woman with silver-streaked black hair, who had been fawning over Ms. Lockhart, shot Olivia an irritated glance. "Veronica will be with you shortly," she said dismissively, before turning back to Ms. Lockhart with a radiant smile. "Now, about our new collection." Olivia felt her cheeks burning with embarrassment. She considered leaving, but the thought of Elena's birthday kept her rooted in place. She'd come for a specific purpose, and she wouldn't let their rudeness deter her. What Olivia didn't notice was that the newcomer, Ms. Lockhart, had observed this exchange with narrowed eyes, taking in everything while pretending to examine a display of handbags. 20 minutes later, Olivia was still waiting. Veronica had been commandeered to help Ms. Lockhart try on a series of dresses, while the blonde saleswoman was sent to fetch various sizes. The manager, whose nameplate identified her as Diana Hargrove, director, continued to flutter around their important customer, ignoring Olivia completely. Finally, unable to stand there any longer, Olivia approached the counter where Diana was arranging a selection of jewelry for Ms. Lockhart's inspection. "Excuse me," Olivia said firmly. "I've been waiting to complete my purchase for quite some time now." Diana looked up, her expression one of practiced patience masking clear annoyance. "As you can see, we're attending to another customer at the moment. If you'd like to continue browsing, someone will be with you when they're available." "I've already selected what I want to buy," Olivia explained, trying to keep her voice level. "The blue scarf with the crystals. I was in the middle of purchasing it when—" Yes. Diana cut her off with a wave. "As I said, someone will be with you when they're free. Our VIP customers take priority." The word stung like a slap. Olivia felt her face flush with humiliation. She'd saved for months, pinching pennies from her teacher's salary, eating ramen noodles like she was back in college. All to be treated like this? "I understand that you have protocols," Olivia said, her voice quieter now but still firm. "But I've been waiting very patiently, and I would appreciate being able to complete my purchase." Diana's smile tightened. "Perhaps," she said, lowering her voice to a whisper that was still perfectly audible, "you might be more comfortable shopping somewhere more suited to your budget. The mall has several lovely stores that offer more affordable options." From behind a rack of dresses, Ms. Lockhart's head turned slightly, though she pretended to be examining the stitching on a silk blouse. Olivia stood frozen, the humiliation washing over her in waves. Part of her wanted to run from the store, to escape the judgment and condescension. But another part, the part that had worked with difficult parents and stood up for bullied children in her classroom, straightened her spine. "I can afford to shop here," she said quietly, "and I deserve to be treated with respect regardless of what you think of my appearance." Diana's eyes widened slightly, clearly not expecting pushback from someone she categorized as insignificant. Before she could respond, Ms. Lockhart emerged from behind the rack of clothing. "I couldn't agree more," she said, her voice carrying clearly across the boutique. All heads turned toward her. There was something about her tone, a quiet authority that commanded attention. "Everyone deserves respect," Ms. Lockhart continued, approaching the counter, "regardless of what they're wearing or how much they're spending." Diana's face transformed instantly into a pleading smile. "Of course, Ms. Lockhart. I assure you, we treat all our customers with the utmost respect." Ms. Lockhart raised an eyebrow, glancing meaningfully between Diana and Olivia. "Do you?" she asked simply. The tension in the boutique was palpable. The other saleswomen had stopped what they were doing, watching the exchange with wide eyes. How would you react if you saw your friend being treated poorly? Let us know in the comments. Sometimes standing up for others reveals more about our character than any designer label could, as everyone in this boutique was about to discover. "Olivia?" Ms. Lockhart's voice softened as she turned away from Diana. "Is that really you?" Olivia stared, confusion crossing her features before recognition dawned. The sleek bob, the refined accent, acquired during years working with international clients, had momentarily disguised her old friend. "Elena," she gasped. Elena Vasquez, known to the boutique staff as Ms. Lockhart due to her married name, broke into a wide smile that transformed her elegant features into something warmer, more familiar. "I thought it was you," Elena said, moving forward to embrace Olivia. "But I wasn't completely sure until I heard you stand up for yourself. That quiet strength that's always been you." The boutique staff stood frozen, eyes darting between the two women embracing and their manager, whose face had drained of all color. "You two know each other?" Diana stammered. Elena turned, keeping one arm around Olivia's shoulders. "Know each other? This woman was my roommate through college. She typed my final project while I was sick with pneumonia, the same project that eventually became the foundation for my first company." She smiled at Olivia. I've been trying to repay that debt for 15 years. Diana's professional mask cracked completely, panic flashing in her eyes. Everyone in luxury retail knew Elena Vasquez Lockhart's name, even if they didn't always recognize her face. The tech billionaire was notoriously private, but enormously influential. Her investment firm had holdings in some of the most prestigious brands in the world. Ms. Vasquez Lockhart, Diana said, her voice trembling slightly. I had no idea. Please accept my deepest apologies for any misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Elena's voice had cooled several degrees. I don't think there was anything to misunderstand. I watched you deliberately ignore my friend while she was trying to make a purchase. I heard you suggest she shop somewhere more suited to her budget. The boutique had fallen completely silent. Even the soft ambient music seemed to have stopped, though it was still playing faintly in the background. I'm sure we can make this right, Diana said quickly. The scarf you were interested in, Ms. Chun, Olivia supplied. Olivia Chun. Ms. Chun, Diana continued. The scarf is, of course, on the house. A gift from Elysium. And perhaps you'd like to look at our jewelry collection as well? We have some lovely pieces that would complement the scarf beautifully. Elena's expression didn't soften. You still don't understand, do you? She turned to Olivia. How much was that scarf you were trying to buy me? Olivia blinked in surprise. How did you know it was for me? Your birthday's next week. You always remember mine. Did you think I forget yours? Elena smiled. Now, how much was it? $1,200, Olivia admitted. Elena nodded thoughtfully, then turned back to Diana. Ms. Hargrove, who owns this boutique? Diana swallowed visibly. It's part of the Lux Retail Group, ma'am. I'm aware, Elena said. And who is the largest shareholder in Lux Retail Group? The question hung in the air. Diana seemed unable to form words. Horizon Ventures, Elena supplied. My investment firm. She paused, letting the information sink in. I've been considering diversifying our retail holdings. Specifically, I've been thinking about acquiring direct ownership of certain high-performing boutiques rather than just holding shares in their parent companies. Diana's face had gone from pale to ashen. Ms. Vasquez Lockhart, please. Elena held up a hand. I'd like to speak with my lawyers, please. Could I use your office? Of course, Diana whispered. Elena turned to Olivia. Would you mind waiting? This won't take long. Still stunned by the turn of events, Olivia nodded. I'll be here. As Elena disappeared into the manager's office, the boutique remained in shocked silence. Veronica nervously approached Olivia. I'm sorry about before, she said quietly. Can I get you anything while you wait? Water? Coffee? I'm fine, thank you, Olivia replied, still processing what was happening. For 45 minutes, Olivia waited in an armchair, usually reserved for companions of wealthy shoppers. The staff moved around in hushed whispers, casting nervous glances toward the closed office door. Occasionally, they could hear Elena's voice, firm and decisive, though the words were indistinct. Finally, the door opened. Elena emerged, followed by Diana, whose professional composure had completely crumbled. Elena's expression, by contrast, was calm and collected as she approached Olivia. It's done, she said simply. What's done? Olivia asked. Elena smiled. I just bought the boutique. You what? Olivia stared at her friend in disbelief. I bought it, Elena repeated calmly. Effective immediately. The paperwork will take a few days to finalize, but Horizon Ventures now owns Elysium Boutique outright. Diana stood a few paces behind Elena, her face a mask of professional neutrality, though her hands trembled slightly at her sides. Elena, Olivia whispered, you didn't have to do that. I know I didn't have to, Elena replied. I wanted to. She turned to address the staff, who had gathered in a nervous cluster near the counter. I'd like everyone's attention, please. The silence that fell was immediate and complete. First, Elena began, I want to make something absolutely clear. What I witnessed today was unacceptable. Not just the treatment of my friend, but the fundamental attitude that someone's worth is determined by their appearance or perceived wealth. The staff members stared at the floor, no one daring to meet her gaze. However, Elena continued, I didn't buy this boutique to fire everyone or to exact some kind of revenge. That's not how I conduct business, and it's not who I am. Visible relief swept to the group, though Diana remained tense. What I'm going to do, Elena said, is transform this space. Elysium will remain a luxury boutique, but will be one where everyone, absolutely everyone, is treated with dignity and respect from the moment they walk through that door. She turned to Diana. Ms. Hargrove, you have a choice to make. You can either embrace this new vision and help lead it, or you can tender your resignation. But be aware that if you stay, there will be significant changes, starting with how we train staff to interact with customers. Diana nodded stiffly. I understand. Good, Elena said. She addressed the wider group again. I believe people can change. I believe in second chances. But I also believe in accountability. Each of you will need to decide if you can commit to creating an environment of genuine respect and inclusion. She gestured to Olivia. This woman has more grace, intelligence, and worth than most people I've met in boardrooms around the world. She shapes young minds every day as a kindergarten teacher. She makes a difference that can't be quantified on a balance sheet. Olivia felt tears prickling behind her eyes at her friend's words. Starting tomorrow, Elena continued, we'll begin implementing changes. We'll be closed for a week for retraining and minor renovations. When we reopen, I expect to see a transformation not just in procedures, but in attitude. She paused, looking each staff member in the eye. Any questions? After a moment of silence, Veronica raised her hand hesitantly. Will the boutique still cater to luxury clients? Elena nodded. Yes, there's nothing wrong with selling beautiful, well-crafted items at premium prices. What's wrong is treating people differently based on assumptions about their ability to afford those items. The staff began to disperse, murmuring amongst themselves. Diana approached Elena carefully. Ms. Vasquez-Lockhart, she said quietly, if I may speak with you privately? Elena glanced at Olivia, who nodded encouragingly. 5 minutes, Elena agreed, and they stepped aside. While they spoke in hushed tones across the boutique, Olivia found herself approached by Veronica once again. The scarf you were going to purchase, Veronica said, holding out a beautifully wrapped package. I finished repairing it while you were waiting. Olivia hesitated. I should still pay for it. Veronica shook her head. Ms. Vasquez-Lockhart already took care of it. She insisted. She paused, then added more softly. And I really am sorry about before. There's no excuse for how we treated you. Olivia accepted the package with a small smile. Thank you for saying that. Across the room, Elena's conversation with Diana concluded. The manager's face showed signs of having cried, but there was also something else there, a resolve that hadn't been present before. Elena rejoined Olivia, raising an eyebrow at the package. You weren't supposed to buy your own birthday gift, Olivia said, holding out to her. Elena laughed, the same laugh Olivia remembered from their dorm room days, full and uninhibited. Keep it, she said. I have something else in mind for you. As they left the boutique together, stepping into the golden afternoon light of Rodeo Drive, Elena linked her arm through Olivia's. So, she said casually, how do you feel about becoming a consultant? A consultant? Olivia repeated. For what? For Elysium, Elena explained, and potentially other boutiques as we expand the model. I need someone with your insight, your empathy, and your willingness to stand up for what's right. She smiled. Plus, it would just be part-time. I know you'd never leave your kindergartners. Olivia stopped walking, turning to face her friend. Elena, you don't have to create a job for me. I'm not, Elena said seriously. This isn't charity, Liv. It's business. The luxury retail industry has a problem. The same problem we just witnessed. Who better to help solve it than someone who's experienced it firsthand and has spent years teaching young children to be kind and inclusive? She grinned. Besides, if anyone can explain complex concepts like respect and dignity as if they're talking to 5-year-olds, it's you. Olivia laughed, feeling the tension of the afternoon finally dissolving. When you put it that way, think about it, Elena said. No pressure. Today was supposed to be about catching up, not career changes. How about we grab dinner and talk about something besides boutiques and billion-dollar deals? As they walked toward Elena's waiting car, Olivia glanced back at Elysium. Through the window, she could see Diana Hargrove gathering her staff, her expression earnest as she spoke to them. Perhaps people really could change when given the chance. Has someone ever stood up for you in an unexpected way? Subscribe and share your story below. Because sometimes the most powerful lessons about dignity and respect come from the places and people we least expect. The story of Olivia and Elena reveals truths that extend far beyond the glossy confines of a luxury boutique. At its heart, this is a tale about the masks we wear and the judgments we make, often in the span of a single glance. Diana Hargrove and her staff saw only Olivia's modest clothes and unassuming demeanor. In their world of status symbols and surface impressions, they missed the depth of character that lay beneath her patience, her loyalty, her quiet dignity. They couldn't see the kindergarten teacher who shaped young minds, who taught children to look beyond appearances, who saved for months to buy a special gift for a friend. Similarly, they saw in Elena only what they expected to see, another wealthy client to be flattered and accommodated. They missed a woman who remembered her roots, who valued friendship over fortune, who recognized that true worth has nothing to do with net worth. The boutique itself stands as a metaphor for the spaces we create in society, places that can either welcome and include or judge and exclude. Elena's decision to transform rather than destroy represents a powerful truth. Change doesn't always require tearing down what exists, but rather reimagining what it could become. When Elena bought the boutique, she wasn't simply executing a business transaction or exacting revenge. She was investing in a vision, a belief that people can learn and grow when given the opportunity. Diana's tearful conversation with Elena suggests that even those who have participated in exclusionary systems can recognize their errors and choose a different path. Perhaps most importantly, the story reminds us that our connections with others, formed in dorm rooms, classrooms, or chance encounters, may be the most valuable currency we possess. Elena's success didn't change who she was or what she valued. The same loyalty that led college student Olivia to type Elena's coding project while she was sick with pneumonia was reflected in Billionaire Elena's defense of her friend 15 years later. In a world that often measures value in possessions rather than character, Olivia and Elena's friendship stands as a testament to what truly matters. Not the price of a scarf or the ownership of a boutique, but the willingness to see others fully, to stand up for what's right, and to recognize the simple truth that everyone, regardless of appearance or affluence, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. These lessons extend beyond boutique doors, beyond Rodeo Drive, into our everyday interactions. They invite us to question our own assumptions, to look more deeply at those we might otherwise dismiss, and to remember that the most important things about a person are rarely visible at first glance. True worth, like true friendship, reveals itself over time, not in grand gestures, but in consistent kindness, in standing up for others, and in the courage to be authentically yourself even when the world seems determined to judge you by your cover.